Okay, welcome back. So, what you should have right now is some buttons. I've just got the four primary colours: red, blue, green, and yellow. And I've put them in a box. I've changed the colours of them, I've changed the font size, I've made the shapes a bit rounded, and I've done that for the same so it's all nice and consistent. And I've also changed the width. I've changed here the components. You need to make sure that you have changed these to red, yellow, green and blue, or whatever colours you've got, before you do anything else. So if you haven't done that, stop the video now, go back, change these on the rename section, and then come back and play the video again. So what we're going to do now, we're going to be creating a paint pot, basically, a bit like paint, where we can change the colour and draw on our screen. At the moment, we've got our buttons, so we want red, blue, green and yellow, but we've got nowhere to paint on it. So down the side, down the palette, I'm going to look for drawing and animation. I'm going to click on that. And the second one down says canvas. Our canvas is basically where we're going to draw. So I'm going to drag that where I want it. Now I want it at the top. It's up to you where you want it. At the moment, that's not very big. So we're going to go into properties on our right hand side and change it so it fits the screen. So I'm going to make that fit lengthways. And the height, I'm going to put about 300. See how that goes. If you do want it a bit smaller, a bit bigger, you might change it to 250. Depends on what you're wanting. I'm going to change it back to 300 because I like that size. Depends on the structure. You might have it just down the side. If you've got your buttons going down, it's whatever yours is. All right. So I've got my canvas now and my colours. So I should be able to just draw, but I've not programmed it. So I've got my layout and I'm pretty happy with my layout. I might have a reset button there in the future. What we're going to do now is we need to program that when I click on blue, I can draw a blue colour or a blue line or blue circle in my canvas, and a red line and a yellow line and a green line. To program, okay, before we do anything, I'm just going to press save. So projects, save project, just so in case it crashes, we're all okay and it's backed up. To program it, we are going to go to this section here. The designer is the version we're on now, so what we're on now. And then blocks. This takes you to a new page. And this is where we're going to program. So you've got different controls. It's a bit like Scratch, how you've got different things and you can add it. So if something happens, then do something. And we've also got our components. This is why it was really important to name it, because if we had button 1, button 2 and button 3, we'd get really confused of which one's which. So at least we know when the red button's pressed, we're going to have it in red. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to click on our first colour, which is red. So when red, so we've got lots of controls here. So when red is clicked, do something. I'm going to get that one. And we want that when the red button is clicked, that it's going to change the colour of our pen to the colour red. And that is where it's going to go on the canvas. So we want to get it on the canvas because we want our colour to be and draw on the canvas. So we're going to scroll all the way down. You can see calls. And we're going to set our canvas paint colour. Can we see that there? And this one, okay? Can you see the little indent? You can see that if we had this one, it won't fit in there. You need to see if it's going to fit. I'm going to put that in the bin. And it's this one here with the little bump in it. So you can see it fits nice and easy in there. So when red is clicked, set the canvas paint colour to, well, I want red. So I'm going to go to my colours down the side and I'm going to pick red. In case you choose the wrong one, don't worry, you don't have to delete it and go back. Just click on the colour and you can change it to darker red, lighter red, whatever colour you want. You might decide that you want a different colour and you're going to change it back on the designer. That's up to you, but I'd keep this for now. Now I've done that, instead of making it over and over again, because I could go into yellow, when yellow is clicked, set the canvas, could do it for the next one, or a really, really quick way, so that one's my yellow, is to just right click it and duplicate it. That'll be it'll save time and make it faster. We just need to change the properties. So we could say when blue is clicked, change the colour to blue, and I want you to finish and do all the buttons. So I'll quickly do that now. So green, and I'm going to change that to green. Right, that is what I want you to do now. So make sure that these are all of your colours. You might have just one colour, that's fine at the moment, but making sure you've set all your colours. Do that, then return to the video. Welcome back. So you should now have your buttons saying what colour it wants to paint on my canvas. Okay, but now, because that's not going to that's set our colours. It's not telling us, not programmed it to actually, when we click on the screen, to actually draw a line. And this is our next section. So we're going to go to the canvas for this bit because we need to talk about the canvas. And so we don't want it dragged, not flung, touched down, touched up, touched. So if the canvas is touched, put that over here, we want it to draw something. Okay, and this is going to be your paintbrush, what we're doing here. It's going to be your paintbrush. So it's going to be a circle. So call, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to put that there. Again, with a little bump in it, it nicely fits in. This X, Y, and R, before we do this, the X and Y are basically your axes, so whereabouts on the page. So we need to get whereabouts it is, because your mouse moves at different axes wherever you put it, basically. So we're going to add a variable. So we're going to get it. Okay, we can duplicate it. So we can get, because we need X, we're going to find the X axis. Because we need Y, we're going to find the Y axes. So there are just your axes. We're going to find out whereabouts it is on the page. The R is basically how big of brush size. So this is going to be in the math section. And we're going to add. So you could have your brush size 10 or 5. It depends on how big of a brush you want. I'm just going to go with 5 and see how that goes. So again, these are whereabouts your cursor is on the page. And then the R is basically your brush size. So that's going to be able to, so when our canvas is touched. But what if we drag our mouse to actually draw a line? We need to set that now. So again, when our canvas is dragged, because we're going to drag it across the page, we want to draw a line. So we're going to go, this bit here, just the exact same. But this time we want to draw a line. So when we drag it across the page, we want it to carry on and draw a line. If not, it'll just stop and you just have to keep touching it. So again, X, Y axes. And we want to, so this is the first one. So this is where our pen is at the start, before we drag it across. Again, we're going to put our variable to get it from the previous one. So wherever we started, that's going to be our axis. I'm going to duplicate that so it's easier, and then just change it to Y. Our next set of axes need to be based on where it's going to end up. So where's the finish of our line? Again, we can get it from our variables and set it to the current. Where is that? Current. So it's going to go from our previous, which is a start, to our current, which will be the end. I can duplicate that. Current. Okay, so let's just go through this. So we've had set our colours. So we know when our button is clicked, so when the green button is clicked, it's going to be our green colour. When we touch on the paint, so the canvas on the paper, it's going to draw us a line wherever our mouse is, so wherever the axis is. And then when we draw, so when we drag our mouse across the screen, it's going to get our previous axes and then draw a line to our current axes. Okay? So we're going to save that now again. What I want you to do is go and have a go at this. Make sure you've got all of this program in your blocks. Once you've done that, return to this video and let's see what happens. Welcome back. So you should have now got this programming on your blocks. Okay, so the red to set it to red, the yellow to set it to yellow, the blue to set it to blue, green to set it to green. When it's touched, it's going to draw us a 5 centimeters ball, basically, or a circle. And then when we drag it across the page, it's going to draw us a line from its previous axes to our current axes. Right, so now we've done that, I'm going to go back to the designer. So this is it. If you do need to change anything on there, on here, and you want to change anything, stop it now and give it a go. If not, let's try it out. So how do we try it out? Everybody should have a AI starter on their homepage. This was installed earlier. If you double click on that, a black box is going to open. Okay. You don't need to do anything with that at the moment, just put it to the side. Go back to your App Inventor, and this button here is Connect. This is basically to try it out and see what it would look like in real life. If you are connecting to an Android tablet or a phone, you don't have to do this, and we'll sort that out. But just do it for now in case we haven't got our Android tablets. And we're going to connect it. So let's reset the connection just to make sure we're all nice. And then we're going to go to the emulator. Basically, this is just a visual phone where we can try it. Might take up a minute or two. Okay, you can see it's working its magic. Okay, so this is our imaginary phone. So this is where we're going to test our app. See if it works or not. And then, if it does work, fantastic. If not, we're going to go back and change a couple of things. It might just be the programming, etc. So we've got our phone. We can unlock that. We don't have to do this because it's still loading up. It's got 20 seconds. So it's just loading up his phone so we can try it out. Does take a minute or so just to load it up. Right, so now it's loading up all our blocks, so all our programming, and trying to fit everything together to see how it goes. Excellent. So we've got our buttons, you can see. Right, let's try it out. So if I press on the red button, I should be able to draw a red line. Fab. Let's try a blue one. Good. Yellow. Try that. Good. We've got some yellow in there. Green. Excellent. Okay. What we're going to do now is, if it works, fantastic. If some buttons don't work, what I'm going to suggest is stop now. Okay, pause the video, rewind the video, and give it a go again. See whereabouts you might have gone wrong. There might just be some coding that's a bit wrong or needs changing. Okay. What we could do with really is a reset button. So we can draw something else in case we got wrong. All right, because that's a bit of a mess and I want to reset it. But the only way to do that right now is to switch off the emulator, start it up again, and you saw how long it took, so that would just be a waste of time. So we could really do with the button here. Okay, I'm going to close this down. first thing we need is an extra button.